Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I never imagined my life could change in a single evening, but that night proved me dead wrong. My name's Mark, I'm 38, and I had always thought that trust was something unshakable between two people who loved each other. Married for 8 years, living what most would call a normal life, I believed my wife, Emily, and I had built something solid. But sometimes, the walls you trust the most are the first to crumble. It started with a subtle feeling, a quiet unease I couldn't quite put my finger on. Emily had been distant for weeks, distracted, avoiding my questions with vague excuses. I brushed it off, convincing myself that work stress or something minor was behind it. After all, we had weathered tougher storms before. But the night everything changed, I stumbled onto the truth I never wanted to see. I came home early, something I rarely did. The house was unusually quiet, the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. As I walked through the living room, I noticed her phone on the couch, unlocked. I know I shouldn't have looked, but curiosity overpowered reason. And there it was, messages I could never unsee. Texts, pictures, plans with another man. My heart sank, a cold pit forming in my stomach as every word confirmed what I feared. Emily had been having an affair and I had been blind. For a moment I froze, the world narrowing to a single unbearable reality. My mind raced, replaying every late night, every unexplained smile, every sudden excuse. How could I have missed this? The life we shared, the vows we promised, all of it, fractured in a matter of seconds. I wanted to scream, to confront her immediately, but I realized that nothing I could say in that moment would make sense. Words would fail me, anger would betray me, and tears. I wasn't ready for them. Instead, I packed a bag. Not with hope of reconciliation, not even with a plan to fight. I packed with a raw need to escape, to find some corner of the world where I could breathe without the weight of betrayal pressing down on me. I left a note, simple and precise, no blame, no begging. I need space. I need to find myself again. Then I left. I left our home, our city, and everything I had built behind, walking into a night that was both terrifying and strangely liberating. The days that followed were a blur of unfamiliar streets, lonely hotel rooms, and long walks where I replayed every memory with her. Every laugh, every kiss, every argument, I scrutinized them for signs I should have seen. I wasn't angry anymore. I was empty, a shell carrying the remnants of a life I thought was unbreakable. Friends called, family worried, but I pushed everyone away. For the first time in years, it was just me and my thoughts, and sometimes, that solitude was the only clarity I could find. Weeks turned into months. I found work in a new city, somewhere Emily would never think to look. I forced myself to build again, to rediscover the parts of me that had been buried beneath years of compromise and routine. Nights were hardest, the silence of my apartment amplifying the memory of her face, her voice, and the betrayal that had shattered our shared world. I told myself I had made the right choice, that leaving was the only way to preserve what little dignity I had left. And then she came back. I didn't expect it, couldn't have prepared for it. One rainy evening, the door to my apartment opened, and there she stood, Emily, drenched, hesitant, and undeniably the woman I had once loved. My first instinct was disbelief. My second was anger. My heart raced, but it wasn't the same trembling fear I had felt that night of discovery. It was something else, something cold, measured. I closed the door behind her and leaned against it, waiting to see what she would say, what excuse she could possibly offer after everything. She didn't speak immediately. She just looked at me, her eyes searching, pleading. Mark. She began, but I stopped her with a shake of my head. I don't want to hear it, I said quietly. I've spent months replaying what you did, imagining every possible explanation, and none of them matter anymore. Her lips quivered, and for a moment I almost saw the woman I had married years ago. But the memory quickly evaporated, replaced by the reality of the betrayal. She had made her choices and I had made mine. I had walked away, rebuilt, and survived. And now, the audacity of her return felt like a test I wasn't willing to take. Emily took a step closer, her voice low, almost desperate. I made a mistake. I was confused. Confused? I interrupted, my tone sharper than I intended. You were having an affair while living in our home, raising our life together. That's not confusion. That's a decision. And decisions have consequences. She looked down, guilt and fear mingling in her expression. Please, Mark. I can make this right. I want to try again. I laughed, bitter and hollow, shaking my head. Try again? You think months of betrayal can be erased with a few words, a plea, a confession? You think I haven't imagined this moment, imagined every word you'd say if you came back? I have, Emily. And I realized something very important. I don't need your apology. I don't need your attempt to fix something that is broken beyond repair. I need to protect myself, and that starts with never allowing you to hurt me again. Her eyes filled with tears and she stepped back. For the first time I saw fear there, fear of losing me, of losing what we had left. But it was too late. The man who left that night, devastated and broken, was not the same man standing before her now. The man before her was whole, strong, and unwilling to compromise his dignity for the sake of a love that had already been destroyed.